I'm Shirley S. You are K25CS 1081. Now let's see practicum number 4. The title of this practicum is Modeling UML Sequence Diagrams. So in before practicum number 3, we have seen UML class diagrams and we have seen classes, how they are used as structural units in an object-oriented system design approach. So here we are going to be elevating it by understanding the logical behind it, and we'll be implementing like how the sequence of order, the chronological order occurs. So basically a sequence diagram, it is a UML behavioral diagram which represents how different objects or participants they interact with each other in a particular sequence over some specific time. So here the practicum in this practicum we'll be using the UML sequence diagrams, and the main purpose is to identify the logical sequence of activities and the messages which are exchanged between the objects and the chronological order in which these interactions take place. So here we'll be using a software called Star UML to model the sequence diagram. So before explaining my diagram, I'll explain the basic concept of a sequence diagram. So as you can see here, this is a sequence diagram for voter ID. So here it contains various participants, objects, lifelines, messages, and activation bars. So the participants are placed on top of the diagram. A lifeline is represented by a vertical dashed line below each participant. It shows the existence and interaction of that participant over the time, and messages are represented using arrows as you can see here, and these arrows show the communication one from one participant to another. So here check details, it communicates between the admin and the system database. So these messages are arranged from top to bottom order, so it represents, as I mentioned earlier, the chronological order of interaction. And the activation bars, it shows the period during which a participant is actively performing an operation. So here sequence diagram, it can also contain different types of messages such as synchronous, asynchronous, return and response messages as such. So like this we'll be using for student management system as well. We'll be seeing it later. So this is the actual resources used, and this is the actual procedure followed. As you can see here, we'll be using different participants, and we'll be creating the objects and the relationships for the required participants in the sequence diagram, and we'll be adding the lifelines, and we'll be defining the messages which are exchanged, and we'll be arranging them in the correct chronological order from the top to bottom approach, and we'll be adding the activation bars as well to indicate the period during which a participant is actively performing an operation. And we'll be also using return or response messages whenever required or whatever is required in the interaction, and we'll be reviewing the sequence diagram once it is complete to ensure whether all participants lifelines messages and the sequence are correct, and we'll be refining the diagram to indicate the correct interaction flow. And at last we'll be documenting it so that we'll be preparing the practicum, we'll be preparing the student management system UML sequence diagram for observing. So this is the observations. We'll be adding, viewing, researching, updating, and deleting, which are the operations which can be done on specific student records. And CRUD operations can also be done to manage the student information within the system. So this is the result. As you can see, when we add a student, a new student record will be added, and viewing the student, the current students will be displayed, and we can also search for student using their roll number or name such that. So this is the outcome of developing a student management system by using the sequence diagram. So this is the interpretation of results. So we'll be using something like menu driven interface for smooth navigation across different operations. And the conclusion is that UML sequence diagram, it provides an efficient way to manage various essential operations, like as I mentioned earlier, adding, removing, viewing the student, or searching for the student, updating the student, and deleting the student as well. So this ensures data consistency, and it reduces the manual work, and it improves the efficiency and the authentication as well. So this is the diagram of students management system, which is the sequence diagram. As you can see here, we are having different participants like student, login, home screen, admin, and database. So here we are having, as I mentioned, the CRUD operations like creating, adding, displaying, insert, and such. So here the student, it sends the update student details request. As you can see here, the request is being sent, and the home screen it forwards the update request to the admin. So here a relationship is being built. So this is where this happens, as you can see here. And after that, the admin they send the student details message to the system database. So here they'll be updating it, and after that the update success response. So this is basically the response which is sent back to the admin indicating that the student details have been updated successfully. And after that the details have been updated, and after that the confirmation have been updated as well. So from the login page, every message it goes to the home screen, and then the admin, and then the student system database. So this is an example of how the relationships work from various participants, and after updating it we can also delete it by this same method as well. So the procedure has been followed where we have analyzed the system scenario and identified the major interactions involved in the student management system. So we have created the participants, the objects in the sequence diagram, we have added the lifelines, defined the messages exchanged, and also we have arranged them in a correct chronological order, and we have connected the participants using message arrows, and we have also included the return and response messages. As you can see here, update success as a response message which is sent back to the admin from where it came from. So from this practicum, I observed that the student management system can represent the student interactions systematically using a sequence diagram. The main operations it included viewing, adding, updating, deleting student information along with viewing reports or results. So the result of this practicum was the successful development of a UML sequence diagram for the student management system. And to conclude, practicum number 4 on modeling UML sequence diagrams is that different various participants, lifelines, messages, activation bars, and sequence of instructions are involved. And also, this practicum helped me to understand how UML sequence diagrams it represents the behavioral aspect of a system, and how objects can communicate with each other by building relationships through messages over time. Thus, the practical outcome of developing the sequence diagram for the given topic, which is the student management system, was successfully achieved. Thank you.